Thanks for clicking on State of the City. My name's Todd Prafke. I'm the City Administrator here in St. Peter, and I've been on, I guess, hiatus for a couple of months. But we want to get going back with State of the Cities. I know I've had a few people talk to me and say, you know, when are you doing that somewhere? It's a handy way to get some information. So now is the day. And so today is Monday, June 4th. Big week ahead of us in the community. Lots of things going on. One thing I want to talk about is the city workshop session tonight at the community center at 5:30 in the St. Peter room. Here you can see the agenda and kind of a little note on here that I wrote to myself to make sure that I talk with the council about one other issue. But you'll see on here we're talking about Traverse Green and the working family subdivision that we continue to work on. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about giving the council an update on filling our Recreation and Leisure Services Director position. As some of you may know, Jane Timmerman, who's been our Director of Rec and Leisure Services for, well, a long time and has been with the city for 3 decades or more, is leaving us at the end of summer. She's retiring, so good for her. She's retiring, but we're in the process of looking for a new person to fill that role. So anyway, we'll give the council an update on that. So those are the big things that we're talking about at the workshop coming up. Let me give you a bunch of other info since I've been gone from Facebook on video blog or YouTube on video blog for a while. I want to talk about that and some of the other ways that you can get in touch with us. So here's a list of those other ways that you can either get information or contact us. We'd be happy to visit with you. So please make sure that you check those out. The one that isn't listed on there is our hot sheet, which is our weekly emailed city newsletter. You can also see it on our website too, but it's our weekly newsletter. And so we'd encourage you to check that out. If you're not on the list to receive us, just send us an email. Send Barbara an email at the list here, and we'll be happy to send that electronic newsletter out to you. It comes out every Wednesday, usually before lunchtime, sometimes a little after lunchtime, but usually before lunchtime. So we'd encourage you to check that out as well. So with that, a bunch of updates. There's a bunch of sidewalk work going on in town, certainly around Veterans Field and the ball fields and kind of down in front of the pool. So watch out for that work. They're doing the restoration right now. And then along 4th Street, there's going to be some additional side work going on as well. So please watch for that. We know how people enjoy sidewalks within our community. Also want to thank the residents along 4th Street. There's some sidewalk that's kind of wonky is maybe the way to describe that, that is getting some work, and I know it's costing you some money, and I'm really sorry for that, but people use our sidewalks like crazy, and they're an asset to your property and to the community overall, so we appreciate your cooperation on that. I do want to mention, I think I have it here someplace. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. The change in the hospital entrance as work is going on. Make sure that you're up to date on if you need to get to urgent care or the emergency room, how to get to the hospital. So this map shows that it's off Sunrise Drive, but it's a little bit, it's a couple of driveways west of where you would normally go, or north, I'm sorry, north than where you would normally go to the emergency room. Big project out at River's Edge. If you want some updates on that, please stay tuned. Check our website, check out River's Edge website and their Twitter account. Stephanie up there is doing a good job of putting a lot of information out related to that. I also want to mention new LED streetlights. Maybe you've noticed in your neighborhood or as you've driven around town, we've got new LED streetlights going on. So a couple of things. First of all, I want to mention that it seems like there's better illumination. The color of the light is a little bit different. It's more of a white, and so it, at least I perceive it as being brighter than what was there before, even though the lumens are very, very similar. It's also provided onto the ground in a much more focused way. In front of my house, it's much more on the street than in the yards around. It's much more on the street, so we appreciate that focus. It's going to save us some energy in the long run and save us some maintenance costs in the long run. That's how we're paying for it. We're swapping out dollars that we used to pay for energy and maintenance to pay for the capital improvements. So as you see those go forward, please make sure that if it's not working in your neighborhood, you give us a call. If we have to kind of redirect the light just a little bit, we're happy to go around later and try and make that happen. But also I want to mention, this is one of those more environmental things. They're also, the lights that we're doing are dark sky compliant. And so we think that's a great thing overall. Good for our planet, good for us. We're utilizing that energy more efficiently and putting it on the ground rather than lighting up the night sky. I also want to mention Pool Pass. The pool opened on Saturday. Today's the 4th. It actually opened on the 1st or the 2nd. Anyway, well, it opened, and it is open, so check our website for hours. I have to tell you, as our wonderful Chamber Executive Director Ed Lee often says, the Poole Family Pass is the best entertainment deal within St. Peter. For less than $50, you can get your whole family signed up to get in and out of the pool, kind of whenever you want. Well, you know, they're appropriate swim times, not during, and all those kind of things, but whenever you want. It's a great deal in St. Peter, and we love that pool. We have lots of young people that work down there, and so they're learning their jobs and are great lifeguards and are certified. And anyway, the pool is a great value, and so we really encourage you to think about using the pool as some of your family entertainment this year. Again, it's a great deal for less than $50. Big weekend this weekend in St. Peter. Last weekend was certainly big with Gustavus graduation, but this upcoming weekend we have Ambassadors Blues Fest is going on. So that's going on in Minnesota Square Park. It is open to the public. What a great event the Ambassadors put on, and continues to grow. Also this weekend is a Gustavus alumni event downtown, so there's going to be lots of traffic, lots of activity in the downtown area. It's going to kind of be the place to be on the 9th on Saturday, so watch for that. I also want to mention that I'm tweeting a bunch of pictures lately about some of our parks, so if you don't follow us on Twitter, let us know. Again, here's, let me get you the right one. Here we go. Here it is. On the bottom there, you'll see YouTube and the City of St. Peter Twitter feed. So we are starting to use Twitter more and more, so we'd encourage you to follow us on Twitter. I also want to mention Traverse Green. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video blog, Traverse Green is on the agenda tonight for the workshop, but there's great opportunities out there for working families to get into a home of their own, so we continue to be excited about that. And then I also want to mention the pavilion. The pavilion work is ongoing. We're being a little bit slower, more methodical than I originally thought, a little bit behind time, but still in plenty of time to utilize those state grant dollars. But if you're interested in providing some resources to the pavilion project, just give me a call. We'd be happy to work with you and figure out a way for you to help out this wonderful project, one that's really kind of iconic within St. Peter. People who don't ever even stop in St. Peter know that pavilion and that iconic look right there in the middle of Minnesota Square Park. So with that, let me hit the road. At about 7.5 minutes I am right now. Again, check out our hot sheet. Check out all the different ways that you can contact us. And I hope to see you again next week on State of the City. Have a great week within St. Peter. Drive safe. We want to see you next week.